There's a moment on the path of awakening that few talk about, but when it hits, you feel it deeply, viscerally. Not just in your mind, but in your body. Maybe it comes as restlessness, tightness in the chest, a subtle ache in your gut, or a heavy exhaustion that seems to have no clear cause. And yet, strangely, you know something is shifting. You're not going crazy. You're not sick. You're awakening. And your body knows it before your mind can make sense of it. Let's dive into this deeper, because once you understand what this really means, you stop fearing the discomfort. You stop resisting the pain. You realize, this is what change actually feels like. And it's the clearest sign that you're no longer who you used to be. Most people think the mind is the archive, the keeper of all their memories, traumas, patterns, and stories. But that's only part of the picture. What's less commonly understood, yet absolutely critical, is that your body holds just as much, if not more. And not just in the form of memories you can recall, but as chemistry, cellular imprinting, behavioral conditioning, and energetic memory. In other words, your body doesn't just carry you through life. It remembers who you've been. Every argument you never resolved, every heartbreak you tried to ignore, every moment you swallowed your truth just to keep the peace, it didn't vanish. It went somewhere. And that somewhere is your physiology. Your muscles, your fascia, your nervous system, your immune response. They carry echoes of your past. That tight jaw you have when someone raises their voice? It's not random. That pit in your stomach when someone reminds you of an old flame? That's not in your head, it's in your cells. Your body is like a living autobiography. But here's the twist, it doesn't write in words. It writes in responses, in patterns, in tension, in symptoms. Let's go deeper. Every emotion you've ever had leaves a biochemical footprint, a signature. And over time, those emotional patterns begin to hardwire into the body's systems. When something traumatic or intensely emotional happens, especially if it's unresolved, the body records that not just through neural memory, but through a flood of chemical signals. Stress hormones, inflammatory markers, neural peptides, and neurotransmitters. These chemicals don't just fade away overnight. Repetition and emotional intensity cement them into habits of being. This is why someone can say, "I've moved on," but their body says otherwise. Think about it. Have you ever been reminded of someone who hurt you, and your body reacted before your brain even caught up? Maybe your stomach clenched, your heart rate spiked, your breathing changed, and it all happened in a split second. That's because your body has developed a conditioned response. The thought or image is just the trigger. The reaction? That's the pattern. It's like the body is saying, yes, we know this one. Prepare for defense. You see, when a response becomes habitual, when your emotional reactions become so frequent that they embed themselves into your nervous system, they shift from conscious to subconscious. At that point, you're not reacting with awareness anymore. You're reacting out of programming. So you might find yourself snapping at your partner, shutting down when criticized, or avoiding intimacy without really understanding why. It's not because you're broken. It's because your body is still trying to protect you from a threat that no longer exists, but it hasn't updated the file. This is what it means when we say the body has become the mind. Your triggers, your reflexes, your emotional defaults, they're running the show from behind the curtain. They're no longer deliberate choices. They're survival instincts dressed up as personality traits. And that's why when you start to change, really change, you experience resistance. Let's talk about that resistance. Not the kind that comes from laziness or procrastination, but the kind that shows up when you try to feel new emotions, embody new beliefs, or step into new versions of yourself. It's not in your head. It's in your flesh. You may feel exhausted for no reason, anxious when things are calm, confused in moments that should bring clarity, but because your body doesn't yet trust peace. You've trained it for years, sometimes decades, to expect stress, to anticipate conflict, to prepare for disappointment. So when you start to shift that internal landscape, when you stop chasing the familiar pain and reach instead for wholeness, openness, or joy, your body doesn't know what to do with it. It panics. It says, wait, this isn't how we stay safe. This isn't familiar. That's why when you're on the edge of transformation, you often feel worse before you feel better. Not because something's wrong, but because something's working. Let's break this down on a biological level. Every thought you think initiates a cascade of chemistry. It's not metaphor, it's measurable. Fearful thoughts release cortisol and adrenaline. These hormones gear you up for action, for defense, for protection. They increase blood pressure, narrow your focus, sharpen your senses, all useful in a life or death situation. But here's the problem. Most people live like they're being chased when all they're doing is going to work. Years of fear-based thinking, worry, judgment, shame, control keep the body flooded with stress hormones. And eventually, this chemical environment becomes the body's normal. In neuroscience, we call this emotional conditioning. The body literally gets used to stress. It learns to crave the chemicals of survival. Not because it enjoys them, but because it knows them. So when you try to replace fear with love, the body doesn't interpret that as growth. It sees it as threat. But because it's unfamiliar. And unfamiliar, to the survival brain, is dangerous. So what does the body do? It sends symptoms. Tightness in the chest, fatigue, racing thoughts, brain fog, even physical pain or illness. It's not sabotage. It's protection. It's your body saying, hey, we don't recognize this feeling of safety or joy. Are you sure we're not under attack? And here's the paradox. That discomfort is a sign you're doing the work. You're disrupting the addiction to stress. You're no longer feeding the patterns that kept you in contraction. You're stepping out of the emotional past and into the unknown future. You've heard of withdrawal in the context of drugs. But emotional withdrawal is just as real, and often just as intense. When you stop feeding your system the chemicals it's used to, fear, drama, self-pity, control, the body protests. It wants its fix, and so it tries to lure you back. It whispers familiar thoughts. Nothing's working. You'll never change. This feels worse. Go back to what you know. That voice? It's not your truth. It's your chemistry talking. And your job isn't to argue with it. It's to sit with it, to breathe through it, to witness the storm without running back into the fire. Because on the other side of that withdrawal, freedom. Now let's zoom out. In quantum terms, your thoughts are electrical. They send a signal out. Your feelings are magnetic. They draw a signal back. Together, they form your electromagnetic field, the energetic signature you emit into the field of possibility. And that field responds not to what you say you want, but to what you truly embody. You can say you want love, but if your dominant feeling is lack, your signal is incoherent. You can think affirmations all day, but if the emotional current beneath them is still resentment or fear, you're broadcasting mixed signals. And mixed signals attract mixed results. This is why change isn't just mental, it's energetic. It's emotional. It's chemical. It's physical. You must align the signal you send with the life you want to receive. And here's the kicker. When you begin to align that signal, when you start practicing elevated emotions like gratitude, compassion, and joy, the field starts to shift. But so does your body, and not always in ways that feel good at first. You may notice strange symptoms when you start practicing new emotional states. You finally commit to peace, and your chest tightens. You meditate on joy, and your gut clenches. You open your heart, and you feel dizzy, nauseated, or numb. Don't mistake this for failure. This is the body adjusting to a new frequency. For years, you've conditioned your biology to operate in stress mode. And now you're asking it to tune into a station it hasn't played in years, maybe ever. That tension? That resistance? That fatigue? It's the recalibration. Just like muscles tremble when they're being retrained, your nervous system trembles when it's being reconditioned. And that's not regression. That's progress. Perhaps the most radical act you can take on the path of awakening is this. Open your heart, even when everything in you wants to close. Not because it's easy, but because it's healing. Your heart isn't just a pump, it's an electromagnetic powerhouse. The field it emits is 5,000 times stronger than the brain's. So when you feel love, not just think about it, but feel it, you shift your entire electromagnetic signature. But here's what most people don't understand. The heart can't open on command when it's armored by unprocessed pain. And for most of us, the armor is thick. Years of betrayal, loss, rejection, or abandonment make us close off, not just to others, but to ourselves. So when you try to feel love again, your body says, nope, not safe. Not until we see proof. It wants the world to change first, for others to earn your softness. But true change? It begins when you stop waiting for the world to prove it's safe and decide to be safe within yourself. To embody safety, to feel love, to be the proof. And when you do that, when you really begin to open, the old programs protest. You might cry for no reason, shake uncontrollably, feel waves of heat or cold. You might feel like you're falling apart. You're not. You're just falling out of the old self. The self that had to stay guarded. The self that needed control. The self that couldn't trust. And what's emerging in its place? A more coherent signal. A freer nervous system. A heart that remembers how to feel. That's what healing looks like. Not always neat, not always graceful, but real. So how do you move through this process practically? How do you support your body as it releases the past and steps into coherence? Here are some grounded tools to help you stay the course. Spend a few minutes each day scanning your body. Notice where you're holding tension. Ask, what's the story here? Not to fix it, but to witness it. Use deep, slow breathing to regulate the nervous system. Inhale through the nose for 4, hold for 4, exhale for 6. Let the breath become your anchor in moments of resistance. When a symptom arises, get curious. What emotion is trying to be felt? Where does it live in your body? Sit with it. Name it. Don't rush it. Write from the perspective of the old self, and then from the new self. Let the dialogue unfold. Let the truth surface. Don't just think about love, practice feeling it. Even for a few minutes a day. Visualize your heart opening, radiating, leading. Such dance worship. Let the old energy move out of your tissues. Emotion equals energy in motion. Embarking on a journey of personal transformation often brings about unexpected physical and emotional sensations. As you shift from entrenched patterns of survival toward a more creative and fulfilling existence, your body undergoes a profound recalibration. This process, while ultimately beneficial, can present challenges that may be misinterpreted as signs of illness or regression. Understanding that these experiences are indicative of shedding outdated modes of being can empower you to navigate this transition with greater ease and confidence. The human body serves as an intricate repository of past experiences, emotions, and traumas. When you initiate significant internal changes, such as adopting a more positive mindset or releasing long-held fears, your body must adjust to this new paradigm. This adjustment period can manifest as various physical and emotional symptoms, including fatigue, brain fog, and random aches. Rather than signaling a problem, these symptoms often indicate that your body is in the process of releasing what no longer serves you. Our bodies store memories of past experiences, especially those associated with strong emotional reactions or trauma. This phenomenon, often referred to as somatic memory, means that unresolved conflicts and suppressed emotions can be held within our physical form. Consequently, as you work to resolve these underlying issues, your body may respond by surfacing associated physical sensations. Consider the analogy of detoxification. When the body eliminates toxins, individuals may experience temporary discomfort as part of the cleansing process. Similarly, as you purge emotional and psychological toxins, your body undergoes a form of detoxification, leading to transient symptoms that are indicative of healing rather than harm. Understanding this can reframe your perception of these experiences, allowing you to view them as signs of progress rather than setbacks. Living in survival mode is characterized by a heightened state of alertness, where the body's stress response is perpetually activated. This state is marked by increased production of stress hormones like cortisol and adrenaline, preparing the body to confront perceived threats. While this response is essential in genuine emergencies, chronic activation can be detrimental, leading to issues such as impaired cognitive function and suppressed creativity. Prolonged exposure to stress hormones can have a profound impact on both physical and mental health. For example, Chronic stress can disrupt sleep patterns, impair memory and concentration, and contribute to feelings of fatigue and brain fog. Moreover, stress can negatively affect the body's detoxification systems, leading to toxin accumulation and associated health issues. Transitioning from survival to creation involves shifting from a reactive state to one of openness and possibility. This shift requires cultivating a sense of safety and relaxation, allowing the body's energy to be redirected toward growth and innovation. Stepping into the unknown is essential for change, as it enables individuals to break free from the constraints of past experiences and embrace new opportunities. As you move through this transformative process, it's common to encounter resistance from your body in the form of various symptoms. Recognizing these as part of the shedding process can help you manage them effectively and continue progressing toward your goals. Fatigue and weakness, often a result of the body's energy being redirected toward healing and recalibration. NiaHealth.co, +1. Psychology Today, +1. Brain fog and difficulty concentrating may indicate the brain's adjustment to new neural pathways and the release of old thought patterns. Greater good. Aches and pains can be manifestations of the body releasing stored tension and trauma. Understanding that these symptoms are temporary and indicative of positive change can alleviate concerns and encourage perseverance. To support your body through this transition, consider the following practices. Deep breathing exercises. Engage in diaphragmatic breathing to activate the parasympathetic nervous system, promoting relaxation and signaling to your body that it is safe. Mindfulness and meditation. Regular mindfulness practices can enhance neuroplasticity, aiding in the formation of new, healthier neural connections. Physical activity. Incorporate gentle movement, such as yoga or walking, to facilitate the release of physical tension and support overall well-being. Adequate rest. Prioritize quality sleep to allow your body time to heal and integrate changes. Nutrient-dense diet. Consume foods rich in antioxidants and essential nutrients to support cellular repair and energy production. Cultivating gratitude can be a powerful tool in navigating the shedding process. Expressing appreciation has been shown to boost neurotransmitters like dopamine and serotonin, enhancing mood and promoting a sense of well-being. Additionally, gratitude practices can reduce stress and improve overall mental health. Gratitude journaling. Dedicate time each day to write down things you are grateful for, shifting focus from discomfort to positive aspects of your life. Expressing appreciation. Verbally acknowledge and thank those around you, fostering positive connections and reinforcing feelings of gratitude. Mindful reflection. Take moments throughout the day to reflect on and savor positive experiences, embedding them more deeply into your consciousness. By integrating these practices into your daily routine, you can create an internal environment that supports and accelerates your transformation. A crucial aspect of personal transformation is shifting from a reactive stance to a creative one. This means moving away from habitual responses dictated by past experiences and instead consciously choosing how to engage with the present and future. Many individuals operate on autopilot, reacting to situations based on ingrained patterns. This reactivity often stems from the body's memorized emotional responses conditioned by years of living in survival mode. When someone says something that reminds you of an old wound, or when a situation mirrors a past trauma, your nervous system can respond with the same intensity as if it were happening all over again. Not because it is happening, but because your body remembers it so vividly. These knee-jerk reactions can feel automatic, but they are not set in stone. They are the product of repetition, of emotional rehearsals that have wired certain responses into your biology. And just as you wired them in, you can rewire them out. Breaking free means recognizing the moment you're being triggered, pausing, and choosing a new response. It's not about suppressing your feelings or pretending they don't exist. It's about becoming conscious in the moment they arise. This is the real work. It's not glamorous. It doesn't always feel good. But this is the moment of power, the gap between the trigger and the choice. When you catch yourself about to react, ask, what am I practicing right now? Am I practicing anger? Defensiveness? Fear? Or am I practicing calm? Openness? Integrity? Each reaction is a rehearsal. Each conscious choice is a rewiring. and with time, the body begins to respond to a new emotional signature. Instead of bracing for chaos, it starts to rest in coherence. Instead of replaying the past, it becomes available for the present. And that's when real creation begins, not from memory, but from vision. Emotional experiences, whether rooted in past events or vividly imagined scenarios, have a profound impact on our physiological state. The body often cannot distinguish between an actual event and one that is mentally rehearsed with strong emotion. This phenomenon underscores the significant influence of our thoughts and emotions on our physical health. When we repeatedly dwell on past hurts or anxieties, our bodies respond as if these events are occurring in real time. This continuous activation of the stress response can lead to chronic physiological changes. Studies have shown that acute psychosocial stress activates peripheral inflammatory pathways, and chronic psychosocial stress is associated with systemic low-grade inflammation. This means that our habitual emotional patterns can contribute to ongoing physical stress and inflammation, potentially leading to various health issues over time. Conversely, by consciously directing our thoughts and emotions toward positive future scenarios, we can initiate beneficial physiological responses. Engaging in practices that promote positive emotional states, such as mindfulness and meditation, has been found to enhance emotional intelligence and overall well-being. This intentional shift not only alters our mental landscape but also fosters a healthier physical state. Letting go of a long-held identity, especially one intertwined with past pain or trauma, is a formidable challenge. Our self-concept is often deeply rooted in our experiences and the narratives we've constructed around them. Releasing these narratives requires confronting the discomfort of the unknown and stepping away from familiar emotional patterns. This process of identity transformation is essential for personal growth. As noted in discussions on evolving identities, reevaluating old beliefs and aligning more closely with authentic values allows individuals to move forward and embrace new aspects of themselves. While the journey may evoke feelings of vulnerability and uncertainty, it is a necessary step toward becoming a more authentic version of oneself. As you embark on this transformative journey, you may experience various physical and emotional sensations. Feelings of fatigue, tightness, or emotional fluctuations are common indicators that your body and mind are adjusting to new patterns. These sensations are not signs of regression but evidence of the profound changes occurring within you. Engaging in embodiment practices can support this transition. Techniques such as deep breathing, centering, and mindfulness help retrain the nervous system, promoting a sense of safety and presence in the body. These practices facilitate the integration of new emotional and cognitive patterns, aiding in the overall process of awakening and personal development. True transformation is marked by the embodiment of new ways of being. It's the shift from intellectual understanding to lived experience. When changes become embodied, they are reflected in our behaviors, reactions, and interactions. This embodiment signifies that the new patterns have been integrated at a cellular level, leading to lasting change. Embodiment practices emphasize the connection between the mind and body, recognizing that our physical state influences our thoughts and emotions. By engaging in activities that promote this connection, such as yoga or mindful movement, individuals can reinforce new neural pathways and support the process of transformation. This holistic approach ensures that change is not only conceptual but also deeply rooted in our physical experience.